the intensity between Charles Oliveira and Islam Makhachev was incredible to see from 2 feet away. So we're raring to go, my man, as you know.
Well, as you've just said, Oliveira versus Makhachev, main event of the evening. He might as well open up on that. It's a fantastic fight, what people have been calling for quite a while now. So I can't wait to see it, to be honest. And it's not in Islam's backyard, but it is, you know what I mean? Charles is coming into enemy territory.
Yeah, no, it is. It feels like it's Islam Makhachev's backyard. The Brazilians seem to have traveled well, though. There's a lot of American and Brazilian representation here, so we'll see exactly where the crowd is on Saturday night. But obviously, this is the belt in your division, so I know you'll be watching with a keen interest. And it's the first time in UFC history where we've had 2 guys with double-digit winning streaks compete for a UFC championship. So I think when you look at the body of work for both of these guys, it's as good as it gets. Like, promotionally, the UFC cuts my check, Paddy, so this may sound like promotional hyperbole, but I'm not sure at 155 pounds or in any division, like, we can put a better matchup on paper. And I'm glad I'm calling the fight and don't have to give a prediction, because I truly think this could go either way. And that being said, I do think there's betting value on Charles. I don't think he should be as big a betting underdog as he is right now.
I cannot believe he's the underdog. I just don't understand it. Like, the people who he's finished in a row, what he done to Tony, you know what I mean? I don't understand how he's the underdog. Like, I'm trying to be fair, you know what I mean? I want Charles to win. I like Charles. He's one of my favourite fighters to watch. He's brilliant. But the only way I see Islam winning is literally if he sits on top of him for 5 rounds. And I don't see anyone doing that to Charles.
I mean, I think, and he's certainly, I don't either. And Makhachev certainly has a lot of nuances in his grappling game, and, you know, the Dagestani handcuff and the Dagestani mermaid when they lock up the legs. But Charles Oliveira, I don't have to tell you, is a totally different animal than anyone that Islam Makhachev has faced. And if Charles has had any criticism publicly of Islam, it's just about his strength of schedule. He believes he should have had to fight a top 5 guy or 2 in order to get this championship opportunity. But essentially, Paddy, like, when they're setting a betting line, they're trying to draw two-way action from the public. So you and I can sit here and say, why is Charles Oliveira plus 165? But ultimately, they're getting two-way action on the fight. They're getting people to bet on both sides, because if everybody was betting on Charles, the betting line would change. So line hasn't moved a whole lot, but I think Charles is a live underdog, and that's about as far as I can go as the guy who's calling the fight.
Yeah, I have picked Charles, you know what I mean? So from my point of view, I think Charles will get the finish in, say, 3 rounds. But I seen him in an interview yesterday say I'm going to knock him out in 1. But I think if it goes to decision, it's Makhachev. If it's going to be a finish, it's going to be Charles. But I'm going for Charles personally. I just think he's fought a higher caliber of opponent. So he knows how to get through these hard times. Because Islam will take him down. 100%. He'll get him down.
Yeah, no, I think you set it up well. I do think Islam Makhachev at some point will be able to take Charles Oliveira down, but I think a lot of Charles's confidence is rooted in the strength of schedule and just the wealth of UFC experience, which you sort of laid out. So, yeah, I think Charles is buoyed by that. He had 30 people in the fighter meeting today, bro. I mean, literally brought the entire team into the fighter meeting. These guys have been so forged together by Charles's success, and yeah, I mean, for me, it's like if I'm trying to bet this fight or bet on UFC 280, like, I'm looking for another fight. Like, this main event, to me, I would just lay off and enjoy the action and find another opportunity on the board. I think it's a fascinating fight, and I guess the UFC historian in me would like to see Charles get it done just because of the nature of his last fight. I kind of felt like he got hosed by the commission, if I'm being honest. So, you know, I would like to see Charles, continue his reign, but Islam's going to have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, and I've personally said it, to be honest, John. They might be fighting for a vacant title, but really, this is Oliveira's 3rd title defense. Technically, I don't care what anyone says. But yeah, my pick, right. Charles Oliveira. If you just want to bet with me, you don't have to, though. I don't mind. You know what I mean? Bet however way you want.